Welcome into the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. Chase Senior here with you. Yes, it is the bye week, and the Niners have a break in action, but we don't take breaks here on the 49ers Report. That's why you subscribe to the show. On today's show, I want to talk about Brandon Aiyuk because he might be earning himself a really big contract, as next year is the final year of his rookie deal if the Niners don't exercise that fifth-year option, and then we'll take some questions from the faithful. First, though, do you want a free 49ers jersey? We're offering you free 49ers jerseys because the jerseys are coming to you from Fanatics, and the Niners just put the beat down on the Los Angeles Rams. How do you get your hands on some fresh Niners merch? You just have to sign up with our sportsbook partner, BetUS. Follow all these steps here, and we'll get you hooked up, and swagged out. Head to chatsports.com/49bet. Promo code Niners125. You sign up and deposit $100 or more. When you do that, you get a 125% deposit bonus back, which means that's $225 in free money to game with. You have to make your first bet, then you email us, jersey@chatsports.com, and we'll get you hooked up with a free Niners jersey. Current players only. The throwbacks sometimes are very difficult to get. So one more time, we're going to flash this up on your screen. It is our sportsbook partner, BetUS. Chatsports.com/49bet is the link. Promo code Niners125. Have to use the link as well as that promo code. You follow those steps that we just broke down. Email us, jersey@chatsports, and we will get you hooked up with a free Niners jersey. Let's get back to Brandon Aiyuk here, because in 2022, he's been a baller. And Aiyuk, in my opinion, one of the more underrated and under-talked about wide receivers in the National Football League. I had tweeted this out prior to the season beginning. I think that Brandon Aiyuk is a better wide receiver than C.D. Lamb, yet C.D. Lamb is the guy nationally who everybody wants to talk about. Now, that's partially due to Brandon Aiyuk not being utilized as much as C.D. Lamb is with the Dallas Cowboys, but from a route running perspective, from crossing DBs up, to having just an overall beautiful skill set at that wide out spot, Brandon Aiyuk is a fantastic player, and I think San Francisco is really lucky to have him. You look at what he's been able to do in his first 2 years in the NFL since being that first-round pick in 2020. And keep in mind, he had all of this production year one during a COVID year, and he only played in 11 games. He still had 60 catches, 748 yards, 5 touchdowns, average yards per catch at 12.5. And after starting the year last year in the doghouse, Aiyuk was able to turn it around. 16 games played, 56 catches, 826 yards, 5 touchdowns. Yards per catch increased more than 2 yards, up to 14.8. And then you transition to what Aiyuk has been able to do during this 4-4 start for San Francisco. And honestly, this isn't a crazy statement. This isn't a hot take. He has been wide receiver 1 for San Francisco. Yes, even better than Deebo Samuel. And he's on pace to really break all of his previous records and his career highs. 55 targets here in 2022. Thank God that Kyle Shanahan is including him more in the game plan. 38 grabs, 483 yards. So he's been on the cusp of surpassing that 1,000-yard threshold this year. It is a great opportunity to do it. And in his previous 2 years, his career high for touchdowns was 5. He has 4 this year. He's going to blow away that number as long as he's able to stay healthy. And I think the 49ers, as they project forward, a couple of guys, obviously, who they want to retain on this roster. The big one being Nick Bosa. And I think after this year, they're going to redo Christian McCaffrey's contract. He's due a lot of money, but the remaining years on his deal are non-guaranteed. So really, I'm looking at a couple of players on this team who are set to get big paydays. Nick Bosa being one, and the other one being Brandon Aiyuk, because the importance of that wide receiver position, a lot more glorified now in today's pass-happy NFL. In San Francisco, like they budgeted for Deebo Samuel, like they're budgeting for Nick Bosa, they better prepare to pay Brandon Aiyuk. Next year, if that fifth-year option is not exercised, it'll be the final year of his deal. Base salary, a steal, a bargain, $2.3 million with a cap hit of $3.9 million. And I want to circle back to Aiyuk being in the doghouse to start last year. It was really because Kyle Shanahan wasn't pleased with his production, his effort on the field, as well as in practice, and his effort in this scheme, which is required to be a very good blocker. And Aiyuk was very honest about Shanahan's nitpickiness of him to start his NFL career. Here's what he said this week. Kyle Shanahan tells me now he just felt like I was never really coached the way that I should have been coached as a wide receiver. Everybody tells you you're just the best thing ever your whole life, getting recruited and this and that. So you never fully understand what it is to be coached by a professional. So I guess you can call it him being hard on me, being in the doghouse, or whatever you want to call it. But what it's done, it's made Brandon Aiyuk a better football player. It's motivated him to put in the work, get in the lab like he did all throughout this past offseason as he was roommates with Trey Lance to try to work on that rapport, and it's immediately yielded results here where I think that Aiyuk is earning himself some money in the future, and he's turning some heads across the NFL of being one of the more underrated and best wide receivers in the NFL from a pure skill set standpoint. In this offense, it's really hard for wide receivers to put up crazy numbers, but Aiyuk, he's putting up really solid numbers. And if the Niners don't pay him, another starving team that's in need for wide receiver help will pay him if the Niners don't. So if you think the 49ers should give Brandon Aiyuk a nice little bag, I want you to type LGB for Let's Go Brandon in the comment section. And if you don't think the Niners should pay Brandon Aiyuk, let me know why. As you venture into the comment section, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because if an Aiyuk extension happens, if Nick Bosa gets paid, if there's any big move that happens, we have you covered here on the show. We are the largest Niners news and rumors channel here on YouTube, with videos coming out every single day. News, rumors, analysis, live shows, watch parties. We do it all, and we interact with the faithful better than anybody out there. So lock us in and subscribe today. Let's pivot to your questions here on the channel. This one coming in from Mike Medley. We need a quarterback that is not going to fail us in the playoffs. The playoffs are a different animal as compared to regular season games. Yes, that's right. But if the Niners are able to rely on what they do really well, which is running the football, and they stack that offense with some really potent weapons, all Jimmy Garoppolo has to do, play a clean brand of football, not turn it over, make good decisions, and play average to above average, and this Niners team will be very, very difficult to beat. Gabriel Martinez, how would you feel about OBJ being signed to the Niners? Chase, I need your take on this. Yeah, we've covered it a couple of times this week, so if you want to go back for extended thoughts, go back and watch some of those videos. I do think that it'd be smart to think about bringing him in, and in doing so, he would basically take away the slot snaps from Jauan Jennings. And I voiced my support of Jauan Jennings last year. On some of those big third downs, he was awesome. He plays really, really well in some clutch situations. This year, the same can be said. I think 10 of his 12 catches this year have gone for first downs. When the Niners need a big play, he can be that security blanket. Jauan Jennings is not Odell Beckham Jr., though. And you can still use Jauan Jennings up until late in the year, because if you remember, OBJ suffered that torn ACL in the Super Bowl last year, and according to ESPN, they don't believe he's going to be available until at least December. So if you get him for that stretch run, we saw what he did last year with the Los Angeles Rams. I still think he can be a high-quality playmaker, and if you're only signing him for the later half of the year, I don't think he's going to cost all that much either, unless you do a multi-year deal, which I don't think the Niners would do. Ken H., Seahawks also released a vet cornerback. Might be a good depth signing. Yes, it was Sidney Jones. He was released because the 49ers could not, or the Seahawks, could not find a trade partner on NFL trade deadline day. Now, the deadline to sign a player was, I believe, 3 o'clock Central on Wednesday, November 2nd. As of this recording, he has not been signed to my knowledge. But yeah, if you want to bring him in, he'd be a pretty solid backup cornerback, a guy with pedigree who plays college ball at Washington. Unfortunately for him, during his pro day, he popped his Achilles. Would have been a first-round pick. Eagles took a gamble on him in the second round and really has just struggled to maintain a very solid career since then. Mando J, what up, man? Where is Danny Gray and Ty Davis-Price? Not seeing the field. They're rookies. Sometimes rookies struggle to master this scheme. They also struggle to gain the confidence and the trust of Kyle Shanahan. Also, though, where is there a spot for some of these guys? Now that Christian McCaffrey is getting a bulk of the carries, we don't know about Ty Davis-Price. Now, maybe he gets a larger workload after that Jeff Wilson trade. As for Danny Gray, Kyle Shanahan said this week he just needs to be a little bit more consistent in everything that he does. David V63, Kittle, Debo, Christian McCaffrey, Juice, Aiyuk. How do you prepare for that as a defense? You try to confuse Jimmy Garoppolo. That's really it. It's a semblance of weapons that might be the best collection of talent in the National Football League. I mean, shoot, a lot of teams don't have the bevy of weapons that the Niners do. Some teams have better quarterbacks. So you try to confuse Jimmy Garoppolo, multiple looks defensively, fake blitzes, drop guys back, force him into some picks. But if he plays a clean brand of football, this Niners train, it'll be rolling. Niners country, we'll be mining. Parrish Smith, just about every BA catch is a first down. Talking about Brandon Aiyuk here. You said every Brandon Aiyuk catch is a first down. Check out the catch right here. Dwight Clark, NFC Championship game against those frauds, the Dallas Cowboys. You're right. This guy's a big playability. It's unfortunate we weren't able to see what Aiyuk was able to do with Trey Lance, who throws a better deep ball as compared to Jimmy Garoppolo. I want to see that element to his game unlocked because I do think Aiyuk has really good vertical speed. But in terms of his route running, his footwork, it's exceptional. In terms of making a play after the catch, Aiyuk is very, very good, and that's why I continue to say he's earning himself some money right now. Adrian, pay our receivers that are playing now, and you'll see a change in how they play. They want to make that bag too. Well, Aiyuk is trying to earn himself the bag. So he has to play well right now to earn himself that bag. He's not holding anything back because that would affect him getting paid, Adrian. What Noodle 187, my guy tuned in from enemy territory in Seattle. That game coming up in a few weeks on Thursday Night Football. Going to be a huge one. What Noodle, are you going? Let me know. What players do you see us not retaining this offseason? Really good question. Maybe a guy like Jawan Jennings will go somewhere else for a little bit more money. Maybe a guy like Kevin Givens might earn himself a nice little payday. Guys like that, they're going to be tough to keep. Emmanuel Mosley, if the Niners can't afford to keep him, and if they're worried about him coming off that torn ACL, another team that's desperate for top-tier cornerback play could look at what he's been able to do the last couple of years and give him a nice little check. Tuck Wyatt, answering your question, my homie. Miami basically got Chubb, Tyreek Hill, and Jalen Waddle for the 3rd overall pick. If Lance doesn't pan out, this could be one of the worst trades in history. I see what you're saying there, and what you're saying, Tuck Wyatt. The 3 picks that the Niners gave to Miami to move up for Trey Lance, they got Chubb, Tyreek Hill, and Jalen Waddle. That's actually a fact, and it looks very lopsided. But if the Niners end up getting the quarterback position right outside of Trey Lance, then who cares, right? If they still have a Super Bowl-capable roster, then it doesn't matter at the end of the day. If they win a Super Bowl, it doesn't matter. Like, you just have to get some of these other decisions right to maybe soften the blow of that package to Miami, yielding them a lot of elite talent. But no doubt right now, it's looking pretty damn good for Miami. If you're subscribed to the 49ers Report and you made it this far during today's segment, I want you to type real one. It's another real one roll call. We just want to show love to everybody who continues to support everything that we do. Closing in on 66,000 subscribers. We appreciate all the love. We appreciate all the support. And if you haven't subscribed, you ain't alive.